Just the mention of the name Streets of Rage is enough to get people of a certain age all warm and fuzzy inside. A legendary series from Sega for many good reasons, and we are proud to present our review of the revival of the series, Streets of Rage 4. This review was written by Jason CAPP over on the website switchwatch.co.uk, edited by myself, and now we're going to find out what Jason thinks of this new hope for the long-lost series. You may hate to hear this, but it has been 26 years since Streets of Rage 3 hit shelves, but behold, we're finally getting a proper sequel to the fantastic series in the form of Streets of Rage 4, and let me tell you, it does not disappoint. Streets of Rage 4 follows the all too familiar formula that old school gamers will remember. It is a trip down memory lane, but it is done so in a way that will help newcomers to enjoy the experience whether they've played the original or not. The story takes place 10 years after the events of the previous game, where Mr. X and his syndicates fell victim to Axel and Blaze. This time, Mr. X's children, known as the Y-Twins, have formed their own organization and are causing havoc throughout the city. It is up to Axel and Blaze to return to action many years later, alongside a couple of newcomers, to stop this new problem and bring peace once again to Wood Oak City. I found the story of Streets of Rage 4 to be the perfect kind of nostalgia, the kind where you are both drawn into the days of old and the days to come. The way they connect to previous events and characters is an awesome throwback, but the way they make it easy for anyone to understand is worthy of praise itself. Sure, the story of Streets of Rage 4 is nothing to write home about. It is a simple case of good versus evil, and the heroes trying to save the day. But when it comes to classic style beat 'em ups, this is exactly the type of story you want, and Streets of Rage 4 delivers. As said, Streets of Rage 4 is a beat 'em up, and the series is renowned as one of the best in the genre. Thankfully, this new entry to the series is just as good as its predecessors, possibly even better in some ways. Right off the bat, you are able to choose one of 4 characters: Axel, Blaze, Cherry, or Floyd. As you progress in the story mode, you will unlock one more main character, Adam, which rounds off your options to 5, but you can also unlock bit versions of the characters through normal gameplay. The cast are all fantastic, and the developers did a wonderful job of making each character feel unique, strong, and vulnerable in their own way. I first played through as Cherry since she looked like a fun character, and wow, I was blown away by all the things that she was able to do. She is fast, she can turn on a dime, and can fly across the screen with some sick strikes. On the contrary, someone like Axel, who is clearly aged in this game, is significantly slower and more methodical. Playing as both Axel and Blaze feels a lot like playing their original characters from the old games, while Cherry and Floyd are basically what the future can look like for the franchise. It was awesome to see these differing fighting styles on the screen, especially playing in co-op and working together to complement these differences. A lot of the old moves are back and are still just as fun to do now as they were before. You have your standard attacks, jump and jump attack, and specials that drain your health, although this ability is absent in the bit versions of your characters. There are also a slew of items to use as weapons, including a lot of new ones that make their first appearance in the series. And of course, those delicious braised chickens, or you can choose something else if you like a salad or something, if you're not a fan of meat. Anyways, they are there to replenish your health. New to the series are special combat abilities called star moves that each character is able to perform once they collect a star icon in the stage. This is an incredibly powerful attack that is not only cool to pull off, but stellar to watch. The story mode has 12 missions, and there are 5 different difficulties you can enjoy the game on: easy, normal, hard, hardest, mania. I'm not sure how mania can be harder than the hardest, but that is what they decided to do. Each mission can be cleared in under 10 minutes, which is standard protocol for beat 'em ups. I found the pace of each stage and the number of enemies was used really well within the difficulties, and the bosses are really cool, varied, and tons of fun to play against. I especially loved some of the later boss fights and how they mix things up. The grading system in Streets of Rage 4 is also greatly implemented and gives you a sense of how well you did and what you need to work on in order to improve your gameplay. Like the previous entries in the series, clearing the story mode does not take very long at all, but that's not where the game ends. Upon finishing story mode for the first time, you will unlock Stage Select, Arcade, Boss Rush, and Battle. This is where things really open up and you get a lot more fun. Stage Select simply lets you go back to each stage and try to improve your scores individually. Arcade is a classic challenge that gives you 1 credit to finish the whole story in one go. Boss Rush pins you against all the bosses in a row, which is basically playing the game without the grunts and the minions. And finally, Battle Mode, which is essentially a 2 to 4 player brawl against friends or randoms. Every single one of these modes, including Story Mode, can be played in couch co-op or online with up to 4 players. The multiplayer is simply top-notch. I found every mode to be significantly better with a friend, and I particularly love the couch co-op, but be warned, friendly fire cannot be turned off, so you need to be careful with your teammates, or not, if you enjoy that kind of thing. The battle mode is a lot of fun too, and a great addition to the series. It will not have any lasting appeal, but it is nice that it is included and does add more value to the game. Leaderboards also surprisingly have made their way into just about every mode here, which is fantastic news for scoreboard attackers. Local and online leaderboards are supported, which allows you to compete with both friends and family locally, as well as anyone and everyone online. Although this is not something that excites me personally, it is still awesome to see that leaderboards are getting prioritized in 2020. The music in Streets of Rage 4 is brilliant. The soundtrack for the game is composed by an all-star team from both Japan and the West, including the almost mythical Yuzo Koshiro. Each track delivers, and everywhere from the menu to the stages to the character select screen are just bumping with great tunes. The sound effects throughout the game are also wonderful, whether it's getting hit with a steel pipe, a barrel exploding, or just fun sounds that some mini-bosses make. The game is just oozing with personality and nostalgia. As good as the gameplay and music are, I have to give top praise to the animation team. The visuals are absolutely breathtaking. Each character's sprite alone is gorgeous, but when you take into consideration the backgrounds, the special effect animations, what you see is one of the prettiest and most fluid looking games on the market. Since the team who animated Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap, was behind this, I should expect nothing less. Another really cool addition that has become standard in remakes, long-awaited sequels, and collections is a gallery which includes artwork from the game that contains characters, backgrounds, and concepts early in development. It is really cool to check out, especially if you are a fan of the series or love to check out hand-drawn artwork. Considering how beautiful the game looks and how awesome the animation is, I was pleasantly surprised to experience no technical problems whatsoever. Streets of Rage 4 ran like a dream. Streets of Rage 4 has a bit of a hefty price of $24.99, but all things considered, you are getting a pretty game that is tons of fun and has a whole lot of replay value. If you're playing alone, clearing the game with all 5 characters and on each difficulty will take you a long time. Not only that, but the ability to play co-op both locally and online for up to 4 players is a strong selling point in and of that itself. Thanks to leaderboards and battle mode too, there's just a lot of reasons to come back and continue playing. Streets of Rage 4 is the total package for fans of beat-em-ups, and it is a bargain for any fan of the series. It is worth noting that Streets of Rage 4 is receiving a physical release thanks to limited run games in the West. As of the time of writing, it is still available to pre-order, either with a standard edition, a collector's edition, or a super duper collector's edition. I think that's the first time that they've done that, and it was also a late decision. You gotta milk this bad boy dry, I suppose. Sorry, this is Jordan speaking in this part, by the way. You know I'm all about the physical good stuff. Anyways, that's not all in case you're watching this far in the future, and the pre-order date is well over. As an alternative, you can pick up the Japanese release titled Bare Knuckle 4, which is scheduled for the summer, and if you want to import that, there are links below in the description and the pinned comment, plus a coupon code from ourselves where you can save 5% off your order. Alright, back to Jason's words. Overall, Streets of Rage 4 is the reboot the series desperately needed. It looks amazing, the soundtrack is stellar, and it is fun to play whether you are alone or playing cooperatively with friends. Let's hope sales for this are stellar because we could use some more Streets of Rage in our lives. It's a 9 out of 10. Alright, I suggest you head over to watch a review of a similarly good beat-em-up that's a rebirth of a classic series, River City Girls, which Juan reviewed and loved, and you definitely need to pick up both of these releases for your collection, it seems, because they are classics of the genre already. Also, We've got a lot of other good stuff for you to watch if you're new here. Many thanks to our YouTube members for supporting us, including our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson and God of Resin. We really appreciate you guys. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.